think we should address the Christmas jumper.
Yes.
Can we address the Christmas jumper? Because I'm sat here looking like this in November.
It probably might be a good idea to put that at the start.
Yeah.
So when we had this idea of the Christmas special, I sent a message to our WhatsApp group chat saying, make sure everyone buys a Christmas jumper. Now, as you can see, Kieran has a Christmas jumper.
And it's really hot in here, by the way.
And I just decided not to bother. I did try.
You did? When's it due for delivery?
By ordering yesterday.
Should be here by now.
And it was being delivered at 4:30. It's now 5:50.
Lovely.
So it'll be at home. I probably won't wear it. And I probably will be sending it back. But I tried. And I also don't look... I look like...
You don't look festive.
I don't look festive. But it's a Christmas special.
It is a Christmas special.
And you've brought the Christmas vibes.
I'm representing the Christmas.
So well done, Kieran.
Keep your jumper. This time next year, you'll have it.
Exactly.
It'll be ready.
Hello and welcome to... Fuck. I was going then. Hello and welcome to our Christmas special. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to the team. Kieran, Anna couldn't be with us this evening, which is a great shame. But what we don't see, you see a lot of me and not a lot of Kieran and Anna. So want to thank them too, firstly. Kieran does a lot of work behind the scenes, behind that camera.
It's my comfort zone. It is in my comfort zone.
And a lot at home editing on very short notice most of the time.
Thanks, Kieran.
Most episodes I give him probably a week to get going and get them over the line. So thank you, Kieran. And Anna's not here, but I think you can agree, Kieran, what she does behind the scenes for us is very important to what we do. All the stuff that me and you perhaps struggle with.
Yeah.
The organisation, the keeping us in check.
I mean, we'd struggle to show up every week if it was for Anna telling us to show up every week.
Oh, yeah, I would agree. So, yeah, thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you. Certainly for having me along.
Well, yeah. A bit about the team and about how we started and why we started. I had this vision back in January. Felt really cool to, give back for what the freedom that I had been given and the story I've got. And I obviously found recovery through a 12-step program. So are you actually joking me?
That's fine.
How much can we edit of that so I can carry on?
We'll lean into it. This is a more relaxed episode. It's fine. Okay.
I first got the vision back in January. And I really felt called to give back and share my story and hopefully help others. I obviously found recovery in a 12-step program through a podcast, very similar to what we're trying to achieve. Probably a little bit more podcasty. And yeah, so I felt called to try and help other people and put more recovery out there. And I'd say our vision is to try and show that recovery is possible, firstly. Secondly, recovery isn't boring. When you come into recovery doesn't, your life doesn't end. And I think I mentioned that in my episode, but that's really the vision that we're trying to achieve, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the first things when we first met is, one of the main things you want to say is actually, especially for younger people, that life doesn't end when you're sober. It doesn't mean that, if I'm in recovery, life's just boring. I have to just sit and do boring things and I don't get a life and I don't get to see people. But that's absolutely not the case.
Yeah.
No, not the case at all. And one of the other things is no matter where, and that's been really interesting for me as well, like being part of this and meeting all these different people, is one shared theme I think that comes through a lot is naturally that feeling of kind of isolation and that person can do it, sure, because they're not in my position, they haven't been through what I've been through, but actually no matter where you are, in that journey and where you've come from, you're never too far gone for it, if that makes sense. Like you can always start that process. It's just that one small, really difficult step, but you can take that, you can kind of get on that.
100%. And in January, I had this idea, had this vision, and I kind of like squashed the vision for a while because I really wanted to get it across professionally. I had the idea that I bought this little camera and was going to do it in the summer and set it up on a golf course and do it on my own. And then I thought, it's just not going to work. It's not going to look how I want it to look. And that's when we met.
It is.
And a mutual friend of ours said that you were looking for something in social media and I was looking for a media man. So it almost come together really well. And we sat down, had a coffee at Starbucks in Hedge.
We did have a coffee in Starbucks, yeah.
And you quickly told me, I don't think that's a good idea, but this might be a good idea. And to see it come to life and watch it grow has been like mad, because yes, I had a vision in my head. Yes, I had what I wanted it to look like, but it just looks so much better than before. And I've had so many people say to me like, it looks a lot better than I thought it would look. And I'm like, yeah, that's all credit to you, not to me. But yeah, I'm just so glad to see the vision that I had in January like really come to life. So thank you, and thank Anna, who's not here. But yeah, it's been great. So thank you.
Thank you.
We are launching again for season 2. We will be changing venues. We will be changing the vibe a little bit. The reason behind that is because we have decided to go down a Spotify route. I've had a lot of feedback to say that, yes, it's great watching it on YouTube, but can we look at it can we listen to it on the way to work or...
just makes it so much more accessible, doesn't it? I think to sit and watch, especially some of them, like our original idea was to keep them short, sharp, punchy. That's great. But then the people we've got coming on have got such important things to say and such important stories. And it's hard to not have that go out to the world. And it's like, well, we can't get rid of that bit. So I think for someone to commit to have to physically sit down and watch 20 minutes is a bigger ask than saying, chuck this on while you're driving to work, driving to whatever, in the gym. I don't know.
100%.
But it just means there's a bigger audience we can get to, which is the plan.
Yeah. We are still going to be doing the YouTube. Kieran will still be filming.
Films. Yeah.
But we will be giving you a podcast.
Yeah, it'd be more of a podcast format.
Yes, 100%. So we will be letting you know when that will be coming out. But we will be looking to start filming in January. Late January.
Late January.
So we're going to look at our new venue. Christmas time. We'll be going to have a look, setting up some ideas, and we will be throwing in, to keep the golf theme, we will be throwing in some golf specials. So that'll be some Concourse stuff when the weather's on our side. Maybe back in the studio at Aces. Maybe mini golf. Might go a little bit rogue.
That I could get behind.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yes. So we've got a few ideas. Well, Kieran's gave me a few ideas, and I've got a few ideas of my own. So we are sitting down with a team in a few weeks' time to discuss them. So there will be big news coming your way.
So to make this episode a little bit different, rather than, obviously we don't have a guest as such, it's just us two, but rather than just the bit we've just done, we thought we'd do a little Q&A. So we reached out to you guys, we checked a post out, and it was a good response. We had a fair few people ask a lot of questions. So we're just going to pick a random selection. Apologies if we're not going to get to all the questions. Apologies if we didn't ask your question, but we're just going to pick them at random. There were some great questions as well. And it's just a question and answer for you more than anything. So we're just going to grill you on some of the things I know you would have touched on, but there's other things, even when I'm stood behind the camera, I'm like, oh, I'd love to ask, I'd love to know this, or I'd love to know that, just to help get inside your mind a little bit more. So,
I've gone a little bit rogue as well.
Have you?
Because I haven't actually read many of them.
You've not, you don't know what's coming.
I've read them, but I haven't put a lot of thought behind them. So there could be a lot of
That's fine. We'll forgive you.
Thank you so much.
I'm kicking off with, this is a good one. Do you get FOMO if your friends are all going out they're hitting the town of a weekend. You're going to get some drinks. Do you ever get FOMO?
I think in my early recovery, I definitely did.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, when I was in trying to stay away from the bars and stay away from going out where there was environments with drink and drugs, because at the moment and in this day and age, you won't walk into a pub and not one person has got drugs.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's mad. It really is mad, but it's the harsh reality of life now. So yeah, the answer to your question is, in my early recovery, yes. Now, no. Reason behind that is because now I've got a bit of recovery behind me. I can go anywhere and do anything that my friends are doing. I might not stay out as late as them. Like I said on my episode, I've just come back from a lad's holiday with my friends, where everyone just got plastered every night, which is fine. But did I feel like I was missing out on anything? Probably not.
Yeah.
And I can do anything. Like, I don't go to places now and like pubs. Like I go out. Last Christmas I went out and was out Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and then I didn't feel like I needed to drink or use. And by 1 o'clock, when everyone's telling you the same story 3 times, you don't really feel like you're missing out on much. So that's when you normally head home.
I could imagine, if anything, like now you're at that stage where you don't have that FOMO, you can go out and be in them environments. If anything, it's making it more enjoyable for you, because back when you were in the kind of the thick of your addiction, I suppose, like when you would go out into them environments, you had no control. Like you had to drink, you had to try and find them drugs, and like you weren't there, or I could imagine, tell me if I'm wrong, but you weren't there taking in that moment, enjoying the company of your friends and being part of that. You were probably just thinking, I need another drink, I need to go and get a score, I need to do this. Whereas now, like, it must be so refreshing to have that control where you can walk into the environment and be like, I'm in complete control of this. Like, I'm doing what I want to do on my terms.
And the biggest thing is you remember the evening. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because for me, I would drink and then use to level out the drink, and then drink to level out the high. So I was chasing different highs all the time and trying to level myself out, and what that ultimately did for me was just black me out. So I didn't remember most of the things I'd done when I was out anyway. Most of what I did do wasn't great. I normally have to make a few apologies the next day. So yeah, I think it is nice because I can remember the evening and I can remember the bits I want to remember and be there for the bits that I want to be there for when it's fun. And also, like, the back end of my using wasn't fun. So I'd probably be a paranoid state being in an environment anyway.
Yeah.
Like, if I was in a pub, I'd be paranoid because, like, have I got coke around my nose? How am I going to do my next line? How many people are in the toilet? Like, all of those things. If I'm not using, I'm obsessing about using.
Yeah, you're not enjoying that evening, are you?
I'm not.
You're not having fun.
No, I'm not. So the answer to your question, to wrap it up, is no. I don't get FOMO. Not anymore. I did think I was going to miss out on those fun parts, but in fact, I can do all of those things that I used to be able to do, and yet not put a drinking drug inside my body. So yeah, no is the answer to your question.
That's great. Next question. I think this was one of my favourites as well. What kind of... So there's that classic thing, especially when a weekend comes, people want to, working week's done, you're on your way home, you hear it so many times, they're going to get home, unwind, have a glass of wine. What's your alternative to that? What is your kind of alcohol-free wind down and your sort of Friday night going into the weekend? What does that look like? Because you're not going home for a nice glass of wine. I'm drinking wine anyway, but that's the kind of...
Yeah.
What does that look like for you?
Firstly, it's never been part of my story.
Okay.
1 glass of wine when I got home from work was never something I did. It was like 1 crate of beer, 1 gram of Coke. That's my one. It was never like, I'll just relax by having, like, all these people that used to go from work and like, I just gonna pop in the pub and have a pint. What? You're gonna have 1 pint? Like, what are you getting out of
What about
that?
all the other pints?
Yeah. But what about staying there till closing time in your work clothes? So I can't really relate to that, but I know what the question is. My unwind on a Friday, and to be honest, Friday was my hardest day in recovery.
Okay.
When I first went into recovery, because it feels like the weekend. It feels like I need to treat myself, and I get the question. And yeah, Fridays were the hardest ones. And for the first couple of months, it is hard to kind of stay in and be like, well, what do my weekends look like now? Now I don't drink. Now I don't use. So, and what they look like today is I get home on a Friday night and I might go to the gym, and that like kind of sets me up for the weekend. And I do healthy things today. Like, I'm a bit of an old man. I like to just sit at home when I get a chance. My life is so hectic, and something I need to work on today that in my early recovery, when I struggled on the Friday nights and when I struggled on the weekends, I just busy my life and busy it right up. And that is a tip I would give to someone in their early recovery.
Okay.
Really busy your life up. Make yourself busy. Get into the gym, get into something healthy like the gym, running. A lot of people, or find yourself a hobby. And mine might be coming to Aces and playing golf on a Friday night. But yeah, now my life looks a lot different. And when I do get the chance, which is very rare, I like to just sit on my sofa, make a cup of tea and watch a series.
That is my Friday night. It's my dream Friday night. Yeah.
Do you know what, right?
100%.
It's like, I don't do this enough, but like awful Saturday night TV.
See, that's where you've lost me. I need a film that's like got me hooked. I can't do that.
No.
I can't do that on Saturday night TV.
I really enjoy that. Like,
all right.
strictly in a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Like,
Cup of tea, I'm there.
I'm not getting many fans from this question, I know. But
I
yeah,
don't know.
that is...
I think more people like that than they'd be proud enough to let on. But
yeah.
you can't beat it. Just a nice quiet Friday night.
Literally. Takeaway. Treat myself to a takeaway.
Yeah.
Instead of free for a winner and a crate of beer. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot healthier for
At
me.
least you're remembering who gets voted off the next morning.
Literally.
You can engage in them conversations.
Literally that. So yeah, busy yourself in your early recovery. Hang on for dear life in your early recovery. But as time goes on, it gets a lot easier and your life becomes a lot more simplistic. Yeah, what I've said it in my episode, what recovery has given me today is stuff like just chilling at home and not having to worry about where I'm going to get my drugs from on a Friday night, who I've got to pay off on a Friday night, how many beers I'm going to have before I leave to go to the pub. Do you know what I mean? Because for me, I'd have to have a few beers or like some sort of alcohol before leaving, because the amount I used to drink and the amount I used to use, people would be like, Kieran, how much have you drunk this evening?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I had to like pre-drink before the pre-drinks just to like be okay. So yeah, it's I get the question, and for people who don't suffer from the same illness as I do, that's a really nice unwind, I can imagine. But one was never enough for me.
Yeah.
Hence why I'm sat here doing this podcast. So that's the question.
Let's go for another one. Let's dive in. Okay, this is an interesting one.
Oh no.
If all your friends drink a lot, they might not, or they just drink a lot or they use, but you don't want to, you want to get out of that. You want to enter recovery, start that journey yourself. The question is simply, who do you hang out with? Would you stop hanging out with them people?
I think your circle changes a lot when you come into recovery.
Okay.
And my circle has changed a huge amount. I've probably got 4 or 5 friends that I still see and still spend time with who were my friends before I come into recovery. And those friends were friends who were telling me not to use and encouraging me to come into recovery. I also had to let go and break ties with people who I used to use with. And you will find out when you come into recovery who your real friends are.
Sure.
Who the people are that support you and who the people are that used you because you would drink and use the same amount as they would. So yeah, and that'll be the greatest thing you ever do. To cut off deadwood. I got told in my early recovery to stick with the winners. Didn't quite know what that meant, but today I do. And that's what I do today. I've built a big group of friends from recovery, a big group of friends from church, and still got 4, 5, 6 friends that I still speak to and still spend time with today, from before. And it's not healthy. And I've seen a lot of people come into recovery and not break ties with their friends who would drink and use the same way as they would. And ultimately, they all end up in one position, and that's back out drinking and using, unfortunately. Yeah. It's not nice, and it might hurt to break friends, and you might have been friends with them for 20 years. But if you look back at your friendship with them, what did that consist of? What did that look like for you? And what circles did you used to spend time with them in? And if the answer is pubs, kitchens, you're probably not best off spending time with them people.
Yeah.
So does that wrap that question up, Kieran?
I think it does, yeah. And I think like one thing, and again, tell me if I'm misunderstanding this, but it's something that you spoke about and other guests have kind of mentioned, that addiction, actually, you kind of say it's an illness. It's not. So I think there's that grey line where I can imagine you could have friends who aren't necessarily addicts. They don't have the illness you have. They will go out and drink an obscene amount of a weekend, and they will take drugs. But like you've sort of said before, they can then put them drugs away at the end of the night. They can put them drugs away on a Monday morning, whatever. And it must be difficult if you have that illness and you are an addict, or even if you're not necessarily, you don't know that, but you're like, I can't stop. And then you're in that friend group, and they're going to encourage that because for them, it's fun. Like they see that as fun because they know that it's going to stop come Monday. They're back to doing whatever they're doing
100%.
to the next Friday night, and they can put it down. But I suspect for people who actually take it that one step further, that's difficult to be around that, because if their friends don't get it, because what you've said, it's hard for people to put themselves in your shoes when you're not an addict, of how that actually feels and that kind of compulsion to use.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you spend enough time in a barbershop, you're going to get your hair cut, right? So
nice.
If you spend enough time in pubs, like my weekends I don't go, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down the pub and watch a football. Like, no, I go to the pub when it's a friend's birthday, it's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's an event, we're doing something. Or if I'm like out for food with my friends and they want to pop in and have a couple of pints, I'll go with them. But I don't every Friday night go down the pub, because that's not healthy for me.
No, it's only going one way, isn't it?
Exactly. And like you wouldn't sit on the same sofa as someone if you've got a peanut allergy eating peanuts, would you?
No, that's true. Yeah, never thought of it like that.
Do you know what I mean? Like that, and that's what we've got to understand. We have an illness. And like, I went to Tenerife with my friends, and yes, and they drank a lot. But I understand that I can't do that, because when they come home from their holiday, they might not drink for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might go, just don't fancy a drink for 3 weeks. Now, if I had a drink when I was on holiday in Tenerife, I'd still be using now.
Yeah.
There'd be no stopping.
The idea of dry January would be mad to you.
I think I tried it a couple of times.
Did you?
Lasted about 2-3 days.
Yeah.
It's achievement though. I was taking it. Do you know what I mean? Always put that big post up like, sober for October. Please sponsor me. No one ever did.
By the third. Don't worry about it.
I'm in a pub with a beer in my hand. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's like, well done, Kieran. Congratulations. But yeah, if that answers your question, I would say break friends with people who are unhealthy, or spend less time with them. See them in environments that suit you. And what I mean by that is go and play golf with them, or go to the cinema with them, or do those healthy things with them. But what I wouldn't suggest is surrounding yourself with these people who drink and use like you, and like you said, can pick it up and put it down in your early recovery especially. But I would say full stop, because after a time and after a period of that, it's not going to be healthy for you, and probably will end up in one way and one way only. and that's back to the start again. So yeah.
Lovely. I'm not looking forward to this.
It's okay. It's
Just throwing that out there. You go first, don't you?
Yeah. I'm
going to study this.
Mate, I've sat and stood all day and
Don't
I'm
stop
so stiff.
making excuses now just in case I win. As if I'm going to win.
I'd be quite like worried if I was against someone like
What are you saying? What are you saying?
This is going to be horrendous. That's pretty good. Did you get that on film?
Wasn't that good? It was fine. Are you going to give me any tips? Or am I just...
A ball needs to be at the centre, in the centre. You should know the tips because I've literally given them to every guest that's come on. Move this way.
What way?
There you go.
Oh, okay. Right.
Feel more comfortable?
Are you getting this? Because this is going to be good.
Wow. I think you went further than the ball. That's the worrying thing.
That was all right, wasn't it?
It was all right. Just why don't you just stay still?
I thought you had to follow. I thought you had to follow through.
Not as nice to you.
I thought you had to follow through. Am I trying to go straight?
So don't move your front foot.
Don't move my front foot.
Like you
I don't
went
think
like
I
this.
did. Okay. That was all right.
See how much better was that?
Where's the hole? One thing, and like I'm even thinking of what you're saying there about sort of cutting, maybe having to cut ties with some people in your life. No guest has sat there, especially when it gets to that end moment of each episode. We kind of ask the guest, like, what would you say to people watching this? That first, no guest has sat there and said, "It's easy." By the way, like, don't worry about it. It's going to be easy. It's going to be smooth as anything, right? It's hard work, I could imagine. Would you suggest that people get external help, or is it something that you like? People can just muddle through on their own. They can just make that choice and do it in the sort of depth of their bedroom, or do you think going to get external help to really to walk out to go to someone else and say, "Yeah, I need help," is a really hard thing? But do you think that's like an important step to do?
I would say yes. I think it's really important that you get external help, and there's lots of different types of help. I think Billy, our guest, has said one way of doing it, and that's the same way as me and a lot of the people who have been on our podcast show.
Yeah,
that's the way they've come out of recovery. They have recovered. There's also lots of different ways. I know people who have gone into Christian rehabs, normal rehabs, and come out the other side and kind of muddled through it on their own.
Yep.
Now, for me, I don't think that would work. The reason I believe that is because I've tried everything before coming into recovery, and sitting in a church building on a Wednesday night when I've just finished work. That would have been my last choice, and it was my last choice. I tried therapy, and I actually go to therapy now, and I think it's really helpful. But when you're not recovered or not in a state that you can get something from that, and you've got a clear mind to be able to understand, firstly, your emotions, which is still hard because hence why we go to therapy, and secondly, like, take the drugs and alcohol away first. Yeah. Give yourself some clarity. Because what, for us who suffer with the illness I do, you take the drugs and alcohol out of my body, I become worse. Because what I suffer from is not drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol were just a solution for me for a long time.
Yeah.
What I suffered from was fear, anxiety, not feeling like I belonged anywhere. And drugs and alcohol took that way and softened that blow for me. So, yes, therapy's great, and I'm a big advocate of it, and I use it now. But it didn't work for me in my early before I come into recovery. So for me, yes, I would ask for external help.
Yeah.
And like I said about therapy, I've got recovery, and I go to recovery. And then I also leaned on external help after that as well, because for me, recovery can only do a certain amount for me.
Sure.
Recovery can give me the tools to go back to normal living, and living without drinking drugs, and gives me tools for that, and also gets me connected to a power greater than myself who I can rely on. But does it allow me to understand why I am who I am? No. Does it help me deal with situations where sometimes I can feel a little bit overwhelmed and not quite know why I'm feeling that way? And that's what therapy allows me to do. I also built up a lot of trauma, which I didn't, when someone said to me, "You've got trauma," I said, "No, I haven't."
Yeah.
And I didn't understand what that meant. And trauma might be something that you didn't understand you'd had, but what actually happens is it's built up and it's unrecognized most of the time. And defense mechanisms you've built up from the way you felt and the way you've behaved. So dealing with them traumas has been a massive part, because once you come into recovery, like I said, you take the drink and drugs away, and then you've got to kick on into life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Then you've got to then deal with life on life's terms. And
which isn't easy,
no,
by the way.
it's
But no
not,
one said
and,
it
and
is.
that's not easy for me,
No,
and that's not
that's
easy
it.
for you.
No.
And you don't suffer from the same illness as I do.
No.
But I just needed like a map of how to, or a guide of how to live life without drinking drugs, because it would be like happy, drink; sad, drink; excited, drink. Do you know what I mean? And that's
Trying to use it as a one hat fits all. And
yeah,
it doesn't.
it doesn't at all. And yeah, so external help is great. I would highly suggest it to anyone, because the greatest thing about getting external help as well is that you're not doing it alone. You've got like-minded people. For me to explain my illness to you, you won't get it.
Yeah.
For me to explain it to someone else in recovery, they get it. Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah.
And that's where I struggled with therapy in the early days, because I was speaking to a guy who's never put a drink and drug inside of him. And he's telling me how I feel. No, mate. You don't have a clue what's going on up here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the unity side's great. The connection to God is great. That God hasn't got to be the same God that myself and I have in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you can build a good friendship. You can build people, like we spoke about in that last question. Surround yourself with winners. Surround yourself with people who are going to firstly pull you up on the stuff you're doing wrong, because not only have we come into recovery to become free of drinking drugs, but we've come into recovery to get a better life and become a better person ultimately. And what those people do as part of that unity is push you to become a better person and help you when you're struggling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can go into my contact list today and there'll be 80, 90 people from recovery who are one phone call away and will always answer the phone to me and understand what goes on up in here. Do you know what I mean?
That's great.
So my suggestion to people would be to seek external help. That's from my own experiences. And that's my opinion. That might be not opinion of someone who might be watching this. But that's definitely my opinion. So yeah, there's loads of different ways of reaching out. And we say at the end of every episode that we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'd love to respond to you. We'd love to point you in the right direction of help. And yeah, we'd love to allow you to feel like you're not on your own, because addiction is a very, very lonely disease and a lonely place to be in.
So you're obviously in recovery. You're not drinking or taking drugs at this moment of time. I can imagine some people could watch this or could see you and think, it's easy for him. He's clean. Do you know what I mean? Of course he's not going to drink. He's clean. It's easy for him. He don't need to worry about it. One question has come in, and I think it's really interesting how it's worded. And I'm just going to ask it exactly how it has been sent in. Is, do you still, despite that, do you still consider yourself to have like a struggle with drinking drugs? Do you still think you have a struggle with drinking drugs?
Yeah. I do, because I know that it's hard.
Yeah.
The thoughts still come in. Driving down the road, summer's day, 28 degrees, people in the beer garden look like they're having fun. I'd much rather be there than driving home. Do you know what I mean? But I know how close I am to being the person I work so hard not to be. So yes, I still struggle with drink and drugs, and I will for the rest of my life. Hence why I will never put a drink and drug inside my body again, God willing. Because I'm one drink, one line away from being that person again. I will never be able to drink and use safely ever again. It's a fact, because I suffer from an illness that once I put one inside me, I can't stop. And so, yeah, it's like going back to the peanut and situation that I said earlier. Like, if you're allergic to peanuts, would you just have one peanut? You wouldn't, would you?
No.
So why would I just have one drink? Do you know what I mean? One drink's never what I set out to do.
No.
And
You said before you don't do it for the taste.
I literally don't. I used to drink wine at the back end of my using and drinking, because I just felt there was no fizz in it and I could get it down quicker.
Yeah.
And then the last time I relapsed was just drinking Grey Goose at a bottle. Like, that's not just a one drink man, unfortunately. I would love to be one of these people who would come home after work and have the glass of wine, or pop into the pub garden and have a pint before work. After work, sorry, not before work. That's what I used to do. But yeah, that's what, like, if I could do that and drinking and using was still fun for me, like I said before, I wouldn't be sat here. I wouldn't be sat in a church on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But I can't. And until I have acceptance, and I have acceptance today, around that fact, I can't recover. I literally cannot recover from addiction. So, yeah, that's the answer to your question.
Last question. How are you going to stay sober over Christmas? Or how do you recommend? What's the tips that you're going to implement? I know it's hard to tell other people what to do because it's going to be different for everyone, but what's going to help you? What's going to work for you? What people try?
I'll be honest, Kieran, Christmas and New Year's is not a great time of the year for us as a collective, I believe, and speaking to multiple people in recovery, I would say that it's not a great time. Reason behind that is because so many people, like, you look at the adverts, like, let's have a glass of wine for Christmas, or Christmas work dues where everyone just gets smashed, or like, for me, I used to break up like on the 18th of December, and I wouldn't stop drinking until the 6th of January when I had to go back to work. And, well, I never stopped drinking anyway, but in that time it was like, chains are off, don't have any responsibilities, don't have to go to
double
work.
down. Yeah,
double down on that. Do you know what I mean? Like, pub opens at 12. Let's get in there. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean you close for Christmas Day?
Yeah. Never close to Christmas Day. You could still get a window of opportunity to get in there. But, and yeah, like, I think it's so socially acceptable and so encouraged in Christmas period to just go out and get smashed.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It is hard. Like, yes, I'm like 18 months into this and 2.5 years into recovery, and it's still hard for me today. But I surround myself, again, I think it goes back to surrounding yourself with good people, keeping yourself busy, because you're going to have a lot of time off, and your mind is going to be have a lot of time to think. And that's the most dangerous part, having a lot of time to think about things. So I would say keep yourself busy, surround yourself with good people, and change the stigma for yourself on Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas is a time to spend with your family. Christmas is a time to eat good food and watch a lot of nonsense on the TV. So if it's your first Christmas, it might feel a bit isolating, and you might find it's very challenging just get through it.
Strap in.
Yeah, strap in.
New Year's going to come.
It is, and January is coming.
Yeah.
So just hold tight. But for me and people who are longer into their journeys, I can still do the things that I used to do. So if someone's watching this and they're not sure if they want to come into recovery, yes, it's hard. But do I miss out on anything? No. I can still go to the pub on Christmas Eve. I can still go to the pub on Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. I can still have good times with my friends. And the more your circle changes, the more different things you'll be able to do. Last Christmas, for example, I spent a lot of time spending time in evenings with my friends, watching films, eating a lot of food, putting a lot of weight on.
Hot chocolates and German sausages.
Yeah.
The world's your oyster. That's what you need at Christmas.
I used to think, the German markets come out.
Yeah.
German market used to be my thing. Like,
I bet you went to the German market for a different reason I did.
Yeah, 100%.
I was going for the sausages, the cheese-filled ones. Oh my God.
You can fit 2 pints in 1 pint. Great news. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like ordering my gear up, like, can't wait to hit Southampton, German market, sit in the freezing cold, but no, I can just smash Stein after Stein.
Was around the corner, I'm there saying, £10 a sausage, is it excessive for me to get 2 of them?
Yeah, literally. And that's me this year and last year. It's a time for me to put on a lot of weight, spend a lot of time with family, spend a lot of time with friends.
Yeah.
And really celebrate Christmas for what it's for. I go to church, so there's a lot of stuff on at church that I go to and attend and be of service there. So yeah, I would say for the newcomers and the people who have just stepped into recovery, strap in. Might be a bit of a roller coaster if it's your first Christmas.
Yeah.
But surround yourself with good people. And for people who are thinking about coming in recovery, yes, you might have that roller coaster first Christmas, but the second one's going to be okay. The second one's going to be all right. And you will find that it gets a lot easier and there's not a lot you're missing out on. So yeah, stay sober over Christmas, people. And if you're struggling, there's a lot of recovery groups, meetings. We are available. I would love to hear from people over Christmas if they're struggling. I would love to point them in a direction of help. I would love to help. So yeah, if you're struggling, you feel alone, you feel isolated, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you, and we genuinely would.
Yeah.
I'm on social media a lot.
And you love a voice note, so people might appreciate that.
I do love a voice note.
I don't know.
I do love a voice note. And yeah, my inbox is open 24/7, and our emails are open 24/7. They'll be monitored over Christmas. So yeah, if you're struggling, feel isolated, don't know where to go for Christmas, don't know what to do for Christmas, reach out to us, because the meeting I attend is open on Christmas Eve, and it's open on New Year's Eve.
Lovely.
And I think that's really important, because there's people out there who don't have family, who don't have friends, who are feeling very isolated, and all they've known over Christmas is just to go out and get smashed. And it's okay not to do that anymore. We're here to help, and trust me, January roll round and you feel so proud of yourself for getting through Christmas without having to fit this stigma of let's get smashed. Everyone's got to have a beer in front of them when they have their Christmas dinner. It's not got to be like that.
No.
So yeah.
Cool.
Thank you for the questions.
Thank you guys for the questions.
Yeah.
I really wasn't looking forward to being in front of the camera, but now what I'm even less looking forward to is you're going to make me play golf, aren't you?
I am. So
Let's go and play some golf.
if Georgia wasn't bad enough, and my
I'm about to set.
my mum wasn't bad enough, I've watched Kieran play golf. It's not great.
I'm about to set a new record.
Strap in for that.
Yeah, a bit. It was all right, I suppose. Oh, you're kidding.
I mean,
So that's it. You're done, aren't you?
I am. The last golf ball hit in aces for on-course recovery.
Ridiculous. Okay, I think I've had my warm-up shots now.
Right, don't move the front leg. Literally, like, feel as if you're pushing. Okay, just go.
Like that?
Push. Feel as if you're, like, putting pressure, like 70-30 into your front leg.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, and then twist this one through. So, like,
All right.
turn your hips for it. How have you managed that? 10 yards. Really nice, mate.
It went high.
You hit it into the ground and it popped up. So, like, keep your eye on the ball.
Okay.
Almost feel like you've got like a brush in your hand.
Am I better than Georgia was though?
Well, you hit it, so that's the start. So feel like you're like sweeping the floor.
Okay.
So like sweep it round. Wow. Like, how good was that?
That's fine, but
You're
in
in a plant pot, but I mean, there you go.
That was
That was perfect. Look at
Thank
that.
you very much. That basically, yeah,
Well done,
sweet.
Kieran.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad I won that.
And we'll see you in season 2.
We will. I'm not playing golf again. We're done.
None of season 1 would have been possible without the help of some of our amazing sponsors. Rob at Locate Electrical, Louis at New Forest Pointing,
Adam
at Douglas Dry Lining. So big thank you to all of them who sponsored us. None of season 1 would have been possible without your help to make this space affordable, Kieran's wages affordable, and yeah, just making it a lot less stressful for us as a team to be able to film, edit, and rent this space. So big thank you to all of our sponsors. And if you're thinking about sponsorship or want to get involved in season 2, we have been looking at clothing. Myself and Anna have been researching some clothing, speaking to some people that supply clothing. So if you want to get involved with sponsoring some clothing that we'll be wearing in season 2, or sponsoring any episodes, then reach out to us either on our social media platforms or over email. We would love to have you on board. This episode is kindly sponsored by Dan Mason from Mason Brickwork. From building your dream home to repointing your garden wall, Dan covers it all.